Managing financial records can be challenging, especially when you're dealing with multiple invoices, varying payment terms, and additional costs. So today, I'm going to show you how to streamline this process by building an efficient invoice tracking system in Asana that will save you time and reduce errors. But before we get any further, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Marquis. I'm the founder of Surface, a systems improvement consultancy and Asana partner, and I make videos like these every single week to help you get the most out of your Asana investment. And so, as you're watching the video, if you find it helpful, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get into the demo. Now, for this use case, what we're going to be looking at is finance team, let's say, or an accounting team who are receiving invoices from vendors or contractors. And so we want to have them all in Asana, and we want to have it in a way where nothing's going to fall through the cracks. We're not going to miss payments. There's not going to be any room for error here, right? All the information will be inside of one central space. So let's take a look. All right, so here we have an invoices approval project. I'm gonna get this started by just showing you what this looks like, what kind of custom fields we're using, and how we actually get the information into this. And so I'm gonna switch over to the list view for just a second here. So as you can see, we've got several custom fields as Asana is still loading, where we can see the department. And so as we're submitting our form in this case, we can select if it's a vendor, a contractor, service provider, or general expenses, the payment method, and this will be done by the finance personnel when the invoice comes in, because they'll have to cross-reference it with the records that they have for said vendor or contractor. And so there's all this information in here, and what is really nice is that we've added in an option for taxes here as well. Now, that information may have been put into the invoice, but in some use cases, you may want to calculate this to have it inside of your space and have just more control over your different systems. And so what we've done is we added a formula field here as well that basically takes and multiplies the amount that's coming in on the invoice by that tax amount as well, so we can separate them. I've also got a dashboard in here I'm going to show you once we go through the form and just work through this workflow a little bit. So I'm going to go to customize. I'm going to pull up our form here, like so, and I'm just going to put in some information for us. It's not how you spell my name. I am a vendor providing a service, and I want to get paid today, due on receipt. The amount is going to be $1,000, and I'm based in Canada. I'm going to upload my copy of the invoice right here, and I'm going to submit that. And so obviously this is going to jump into Asana, and depending on the region, the amount even, we could say, hey, we want to assign it to this individual. But in this case, we just have one individual. So there's our invoice. It's come in. I'm going to switch back to board now so we can get a better view of what we're looking at here. So again, this is the due date of that invoice. You'll notice that there's a subtask here. So whoever's coming in and responsible for triaging these requests and actually processing them will be assigned. And then we don't have it here, but the rule would basically state that the assignee of this is also the task assignee. Right? We can have the assignee of any subtasks be the task triggerer or the person that's assigned to the parent task as well. So in this case, they just have to review the invoice. There might be further instructions in here for the person reviewing it. Maybe you have a link to an internal SOP inside of Asana, and so you could have that information here. So once we reviewed this invoice, we're going to just complete the first subtask, and then it needs to now be approved. So we need to validate this $1,000 that is due to this vendor. They would have put, a description in their invoice. We have to make sure that that service was actually provided and that the contract is now ready to be closed, or at least in this case, the vendor is ready to be paid. And so we've added another subtask here where they now have to approve the invoice. Asana, I really wish you could exclude weekends from approvals and these automatic due dates, because no one's going to be approving this on Sunday. It's obviously going to be Monday. But in this case, because we need it due today or paid today, we're probably going to have to review this today. So we need to approve this invoice, and we can ask for changes or approve the invoice. So there we go. It's approved. And then we have a section for approved invoices. So what happens next? Maybe we have someone else come in now to actually process the payment, a junior accountant or bookkeeper maybe, and they're processing the payment through the payment processing system. And so you can see what's happening here. We've got in the parent task here, you've got some custom fields. So in this case, it's high priority, because it's due today. And this would have happened at the review stage, of course. The payment method, we've cross-referenced this with the vendor's file that we have on them, and they want a wire transfer on that same day. Their bank, it's a digital bank. And so we have all of our information now in this. So the next step is to add those payment details, which we just did. And now we're going to make that payment. Again, it's not Wednesday. Based on this, it is high priority. We have the resources to get this out today. So we're going to do that. And of course, in your company, you'll likely have have some kind of policy that obviously you pay on net 15 or net 30 or a certain time of the month, right? But again, it's just a demo. So let's make that payment today. Great, payment is made. Like so, and then we're going to move this over to paid invoices, and the rule will automatically then complete said task. And so I'm just going to jump into the fields here really quickly, or the rules, sorry, so you can see what we did. So when the task is added to the project, depending on, the department, I was mentioning that, you may want to have a certain person be assigned to that task. So in this case, if it's HR or general expenses, the task is going to be assigned to me to review. In this case, if it is a vendor or contractor, it's assigned to Maddie, and then if it's service tools, it's assigned to Test B. And then we go into moving tasks between sections. So rather than having multiple rules that state when it gets to a certain section, this action needs to happen, we just have them all inside of one rule. And we're using otherwise if branches to create those different outcomes here. And so if the section is new invoices, we want to set the invoice status to review, and then we're adding in our relative subtasks. So review new invoice, it's set to 2 days after. Again, if there was a little button that said, exclude weekends, that would be amazing. And then this right here, this is going to be assigned to the assignee of the parent task. Okay. And so all those rules basically look the same as we move through those different sections on the Kanban board that we went through. These various tasks or subtasks, will be assigned. And then the last one here is the rule for taxes. So because we have a multiplier for the taxes based on the region or the country in this case, we're able to take this, 10% or 15% and multiply it by the actual amount. And that's what we saw inside of our list view. Let me just go back there to look at it one more time. And so here we have the amount that would have come in on that invoice. Here's the amount. And then we have the country here. We have the tax for that country, state, or province. And then we can see the tax amounts right there. And then the total amount that is now factoring in the addition of those taxes. Okay, so that's one way that we can set it up. Again, what I love about Asana is it's a big empty box. We can do pretty much anything with it. This is one use case based on a lot of client feedback that we've received at Surface. Last thing I'll show you here is just a dashboard. We love dashboards. We want to be able to visualize our data, right? It's not enough to just have the data inside of Asana. We want to see how things are working out. And so I always say that as long as there's a custom field and you're taking the time to clean the data and make sure you have the proper data in the right places, you can pretty much report on anything. And so here we have the invoice amounts. This is all time. We didn't add a secondary filter for date ranges. This is invoice amounts all time, total taxes all time, and then the total amount that is due. And here you can see we have one overdue invoice. We don't know why it's overdue. We could go into it and check like so, but we don't need to go in there. Let me go back to our task here, or our project here, sorry. There we go. So let's go back to our dashboard, and then just a couple more charts here. We have invoices by status. So we want to see exactly what's sitting where, and then invoices by department as well. So we see what that spread looks like. So hope you found this helpful. Again, this is one use case out of many that you could try, but this is what we wanted to show, again, based on some customer feedback. And so I hope you enjoyed this. If you found this helpful, again, and if you haven't, hit the like button, that would be great. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, haven't already. And if you found this helpful and want to share it with someone else who you think it would also benefit, that would be much appreciated. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. As many of you already know, I run a consulting company called Surface, which is a proud Asana partner. We specialize in a variety of Asana services, including training and workflow optimization. Whether you're in the process of introducing your team to Asana because you're transitioning over from another tool, or you're already using Asana but feel like you're not quite getting the most of its potential, we're here to help bridge that gap. Our training is tailored to fit your team's size, workflows, and skill levels so that you can get the most out of your Asana investment. Head over to surface.com for more information or book a Connect call using the link in the description.